boiling point. Sterling, in a moment of sheer madness, decided to propose to Portia. He did it right in the middle of the floor, dropping to one knee. "Portia," he said, "will you marry me?" "Yes," she screamed. "And I want a wedding in Venice." With 5,000 doves and a puff of white smoke, Xavier leaned over to Sterling. "You got a prenup, man? A prenup is a setup for failure." Sterling quoted Portia, beaming. "He's going to lose everything," Xavier whispered to Zara. Meanwhile, Sebastian and Sloane were having a very different conversation in the corner. "I saw the ring in your bag, Sebastian," Sloane said, her arms crossed. "And my answer is no." "I didn't even ask yet," Sebastian protested. "But you were going to, and I don't want to be tied down." "Sloane, I just wanted to know if you liked the diamond," Sebastian cried. "I was buying it for my sister's engagement." Sloane paused. "Oh, well, in that case, carry on." As the party raged on, Xavier and Zara stood on the balcony looking out over the glittering lights of Aura Springs. "So," Xavier said, pulling her close, "no more burning cars?" "No more burning cars," Zara promised. "But Xavier?" "Yeah? If I ever hear that Serafina Moon called you again, I'm not burning the car. I'm burning the whole garage." Xavier laughed, kissing her forehead. "I'd expect nothing less, baby. I'd expect nothing less." Inside, Nana Flo was teaching Leo how to do the hustle, while Gigi was successfully flirting with the valet. Life in Aura Springs was chaotic, expensive, and utterly ridiculous. And they wouldn't have it any other way. The end. The Echoes of Obsidian Heights. A novel of love, lies, and high-octane drama. Chapter 1. The Barry White Frequency. In the manicured suburb of Obsidian Heights, where the lawns were as sharp as the gossip, the Sterling household was experiencing what could only be described as a tectonic shift in marital relations. Dante Sterling, a man whose physique suggested he still spent 8 hours a day bench-pressing small vehicles. A remnant of his glory days, as a professional linebacker, sat at the breakfast table, staring intensely at a bowl of gluten-free granola. Beside him, his 13-year-old son, DJ, was nursing a glass of orange juice with the cynical air of a man who had seen too much for his years. "I didn't want to hear it," DJ started, his voice a low, rhythmic cadence that mirrored his father's. "But I kinda wanted to hear it. It's like a car crash. Dad, you know you should look away, but you're secretly checking for the airbag deployment." Dante looked up, a spoonful of fiber suspended in midair. "You shouldn't have been listening, DJ. Privacy is a pillar of this household. A shaky, termite-infested pillar, but a pillar nonetheless." "I was trying not to, Pop," DJ retorted, leaning in. "But I knew if I heard it, y'all would come down here smiling like you just won the Powerball, singing those smooth, deep-voiced crooner songs. You know the ones. By that guy, Larry White?" Dante paused. "Larry White? You mean Barry White, son." The man with the voice like velvet poured over heated mahogany. "Whatever," DJ shrugged. "Old dude with the I love you, baby energy. When that music starts vibrating through the drywall, I know the Sterling Cold War has officially entered a ceasefire. But, looking at your face right now, the music was definitely silent last night. Wasn't it?" Dante sighed, the weight of 1,000 arguments pressing down on his broad shoulders. "Your mother is an elemental force, DJ. Last night, the elements were mostly fire and brimstone. So, no makeup session? No Larry White? Son, at this point, I'd settle for a Weird Al Yankovic parody." "She's currently in the silent treatment phase, which is fortunately quieter than the incinerating your wardrobe phase." The sound of staccato heels clicking against the hardwood floor announced the arrival of Sienna Sterling. Sienna didn't just walk into a room, she reclaimed it. Her hair was a masterpiece of architectural engineering, and her eyes held the glint of a woman who could cross-examine a statue into a confession. "Good morning, Dante," she snapped, corrected herself with a chilling precision. "Good morning, babe," Dante said, his voice hopeful. "I was thinking maybe we could—" "I'm late for the salon." Sienna cut him off, reaching for her car keys. DJ, finish your breakfast. Don't be late for the bus. And Dante, don't forget that the drywall in the master bedroom is thin. If you're going to sigh that loudly all night, do it in the guest room. You're upsetting the feng shui. She swept out of the room like a hurricane in Prada. DJ looked at his father. Yeah, that's a hard no on the Barry White Pope. You might want to invest in some earplugs. And maybe a bulletproof vest. Chapter 2. Asphalt, Ashes, and Amnesia. At Sienna's crown jewel, the most prestigious hair salon in Obsidian Heights, the air was thick with the scent of lavender oil and high-stakes drama. Sienna's best friends, Sloane and Camille, were already stationed at the main counter, waiting for the morning briefing. He did not, Camille gasped, her eyes wide as Sienna recounted the saga of the previous week. He did, Sienna said, slamming her purse down. The woman's name is Sasha Blackwood. She claimed she had his child. A whole human being, Camille. I didn't wait for the DNA test. I didn't wait for an explanation. I grabbed the lighter fluid. Sloane winced. The Mercedes, Sienna, truly? That car was a classic. It was a symbol of his infidelity, Sienna declared. I watched it burn with a sense of spiritual catharsis. And the clothes? I turned his silk suits into a very expensive pile of ash. I was a woman scorned. I was Medea in a tracksuit. But Sienna, Sloane whispered. He was telling the truth. Sasha Blackwood was a fraud. She was a woman from his past, trying to shake him down. He's innocent. Sienna paused, a rare moment of hesitation flickering across her face. I know. I found the letter yesterday. Sasha confessed. She doesn't even have a kid. She was put up to it by some bitter ex-friend. So you burned a luxury vehicle and a designer wardrobe over a prank? Camille asked, trying to suppress a laugh. So, end this pesilish. I am a passionate woman, Sienna defended. And now I have to go home and act like I didn't spend the last 48 hours assuming he was the Antichrist. I told him this morning I trust him, but I'm still going to Sasha's house today to verify. Trust, but verify. That's the sterling motto. The conversation was interrupted by the arrival of the construction crew. Sienna had decided to expand the salon, and the lead contractor was a man named Malik. He was tall, rugged, and carried a blueprint with the confidence of a general. Morning, boss lady, Malik said, a playful smirk on his face. Sienna squinted at him. There was something familiar about the way he tilted his head, a nagging sense of déjà vu. Do I know you, Malik? Aside from the bid you submitted that was 20% too high? Malik laughed. You really don't remember, do you? 14 years ago, University of Georgia. The wild autumn? Formal? Sloane and Camille leaned in, so far they nearly fell over the counter. I have no idea what you're talking about, Sienna said, her voice dropping an octave into dangerous territory. One night stand, Camille whispered to Sloane. I remember she mentioned a Malik back in the day. She was wild in college, like National Geographic wild. I was a studious, focused young woman, Sienna insisted, though her cheeks were turning a faint shade of crimson. Malik, just do the job. Keep it professional. If you mention University of Georgia one more time, I'll find a contractor who doesn't have a memory. Chapter 3. The Peaches Protocol. Back at the Sterling Manor, a new crisis was brewing. Dante was working from home, trying to prep for his sports broadcast, when he stumbled upon a small, hand-rolled cigarette on the floor outside DJ's room. His heart stopped. He called Sienna immediately. Sienna, get home. Now, it's an emergency. It's DJ. By the time Sienna arrived, she was already in tears. Is he hurt? Is he kidnapped? Did he join a cult? Worse, Dante said, holding up the item in a plastic bag. I found this. A joint. Sienna. Our son is a drug kingpin. Sienna's reaction was instantaneous and theatrical. She collapsed onto the sofa. I knew it. It's the gateway. Next week, it'll be the hard stuff. He'll lose his teeth. Dante, have you seen those posters? He'll be living under a bridge, scratching his neck, calling himself Peaches. Peaches? Dante asked, bewildered. My Uncle Harold,